Now tell me, under which acts marriages are registered in India?
What was the reason for banning tiger safari in Jim Corbett?
What is the procedure of ceding the territory to other country?
What are your views on live-in relationship?
May I come in, sir?
Yes, come in.
Good evening, sir. Good
Good
evening.
evening.
ma'am. Good
Please be
evening, sir.
seated. Please give a brief introduction about yourself.
Sir, my name is Apsita Rawat. I belong to Chamoli district of Uttarakhand, and I have completed my studies from Delhi itself. And in my hobbies, I like to cook, and sometimes I wish to listen to regional Pahari songs.
You did your graduation through IGNOU
Yes,
and
sir.
also post-graduation IGNOU. What was your subject at the graduation level and the post-graduation level?
Sir, at graduation, I studied sociology and economics, and in post-graduation, I mastered in political science and international relations, which is also my optional for the UPSC.
Okay,
Exam.
political science and international relations. Okay. You see, you are coming from, you are aspiring to become a part of the administrative setup of Uttarakhand. Uttarakhand has passed the UCC, Uniform Civil Code. Now tell me, under which acts marriages are registered in India?
So, firstly, we have different marriage acts for different communities. Like we have Hindu Marriage Act, we have the Muslim Personal Law, which basically have the provisions for the Muslim community, and we have one Special Marriage Act, which is basically for inter-community and inter-religious marriages.
When these laws are already existing, what was the need for the government to have introduced Uniform Civil Code as far as marriage is concerned?
So, firstly, as the Constitution itself gives under Article 44 of the DPSP, that the state shall endeavor to provide a uniform civil code for the citizens. So, first requirement is this itself. Secondly, it is for basically the unifying of all the codes, because we have different codes for different people, and it might lead to some issues, like every law has some lacuna. So, to basically to fulfill those lacunas and to treat everyone equally within an equal law in terms of personal law, I believe this is the main force behind passing UCC.
Why then your tribal people have been left out?
So the tribal population in the state of Uttarakhand is less than 3%. In order to ensure the sustenance of their tribal lifestyle and culture, we have basically exempted them from these provisions of the UCC.
What are your views on live-in relationship?
So I believe this is a part of society which we are basically seeing right now. It is a transforming part of society, and we cannot deny it that it is not happening. So something that we cannot deny, we should accept it and we should regulate it, because denying it won't be a solution for the issues that we face basically because of the live-in relationships.
Okay, so if you are in a live-in relationship in the state of Uttarakhand, what precautions you are supposed to be taking under the provisions of the Act?
So the first provision is within 30 days of entering into such kind of relationship, we have to register the relationship in the registrar office, and we have to tell them that we are such and such person and we are living. And if due to some matter, if the relationship is ended, we have to inform the registrar itself that the relationship has been ended. And our families
Don't
will
you
be
think it
informed.
is an intrusion into the private affairs of individuals?
So on some level it seems so, but the government has put this provision due to the upcoming issues that we face because of the live-in issues, and especially in the case of if desertion happens in these kind of relations, in terms of inheritance, the child born out of such relations. So I do see it as, at some part we can say that it is an intrusion, but it is basically for the welfare of the citizens, and the rules are still being formed. So when and then the rule comes, we will get to know more about these.
What are the challenges in its implementation?
So the
Implementation of a registration process and all that for the live-in relationship?
Sir, I believe the first will be the social stigma, that people may not be very much open about it. They might fear that the family, the society will get to know. Secondly, I believe some extra social forces, they might hamper them. The different outfits that have certain outlook towards certain sections of society, it might also hamper them. So it basically leads to an openness which might hamper them.
What is your definition of women empowerment?
Sir, a woman is empowered when she can take decisions for herself and she can decide what is good or bad for herself. I believe it is
How and when does it happen?
So when a woman is socially, educationally, culturally and financially empowered.
Okay. What do you mean by glass ceiling?
So glass ceiling is basically a phenomena when the certain posts in a particular organization are registered, are basically restricted to the male. We basically use in the terms of women. So when these organizations register such posts for the male population itself, so we see it as a glass ceiling.
The glass ceiling, do you think it's a psychological concept or a social concept?
So I believe both. It is psychological. It is emanating from the individual first, and basically then driving through the society.
There is another concept of glass cliff.
Yes, sir.
What is that concept? Any idea?
So it is also basically related to the workplace situations, and I believe when a glass cliff basically means when you put the women in front of a situation to let her face the brunt of it, and basically not to help her or to let her show her abilities.
Okay, wonderful. Last question from my side. You see, the Supreme Court of India has passed strictures against the state government and also the Patanjali for having misleading advertisements. So what was the issue involved?
So there was some drug of the particular organization, that is Patanjali, which claimed some cure, and the Supreme Court basically reprimanded the organization that such kind of advertisement, misleading advertisement, should not be there.
And why the role of the state government also came into criticism by the Supreme Court?
So yes, the state government was also held accountable by the Supreme Court. That
How? I question how the state government was held responsible.
So the
Where did it err?
So the Patanjali headquarters are in the state of Uttarakhand, and they are operating from the land of Uttarakhand. So I believe this is how. I'm not very sure.
You're not sure.
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
Ipsita.
Yes, ma'am.
Ipsita, tell me, what is the role of NGT?
National Green Tribunal.
Yes.
Ma'am, it is basically a tribunal which is meant for the environmental issues, and it is for the speedy trial of these environmental issues.
When was it actually formed?
Ma'am, may I guess it? 2010, I believe.
Yes, you're right, 2010. Why this NGT has, taken Uttarakhand state and the government authorities and reprimanded them for certain practices? What is it for?
I believe it is basically the mismanagement of the natural resources.
No, it is actually for polluting the rivers.
Yes, ma'am. The rivers.
Right? Yes. So, what are the reasons for river pollution?
Ma'am, basically the kind of river pollution that we see in Uttarakhand, it is not from the source itself. When the river comes down in the plain areas, the urban areas, we see this mismanagement by the industries, the local people who are not very aware of the ecological condition of the rivers. So these are some of the factors that we see.
And letting the sewage open in rivers. So how do you see this problem as a grave problem when we take tourism into consideration? And what are the ways out? Because tourism also, we cannot let it go, right? Because it's a way for earning money. So how can it be tackled, such kind of problem?
Ma'am, basically when tourism happens, like the Char Dham Yatra is going on, we are seeing a huge footfall of the tourists. And especially in the divine places like Kedarnath and Badrinath, we see this problem of a huge sewage issue. I believe this can be solved by capping the number of tourists that can be that are permitted in these shrines. Secondly, we have to distinguish between Tirthatan and Paryatan. We have to encourage people, tell them that if you are coming here, you should be mindful of the things that you are doing. Do not litter.
How to do this? Tirthatan and Paryatan?
I believe basically
it's very difficult.
Yes, ma'am. I believe basically we have to sensitize the people first, because we cannot go and teach everyone, but we have to create a larger mass movement. Because the shrines in South India, we have seen like the Tirupati Nath temple. We have seen it also faces a huge footfall, but it does not have such issues like we have in Uttarakhand.
Okay, what is the concept of untreated sewage?
When the sewage is basically left out in the rivers without removing the fecal material and the other
without
pollutants.
Treating it. Okay, yes. Fine. What was the reason for banning tiger safari in Jim Corbett?
Ma'am, the first reason was the ecological imbalance that it might create. Secondly, to ensure that the sanctity of the national parks stays. And thirdly, it was seen that the tourists were not following some guidelines which were required for these safaris, and it led to some kind of human wildlife conflict. So basically, to avoid these,
There is another reason also which Supreme Court has taken cognizance. Are you aware with this?
the felling of trees
Yes,
in the
yes.
Jim Corbett area.
Yes, exactly. Okay. Tell me that what is the role of Asian development banks, especially when we consider the various infrastructural developments which are being taken up?
Ma'am, the Asian Development Bank is basically, as you suggested, it's for the development of infrastructure. It is basically taken into the picture in the sense of the South cooperation, because we have seen the already existing infrastructure banks, they might have some project over the South countries. So it is basically to support the third world and the South cooperation, so that they can have some sort of infrastructure development.
Is there any developmental work which is going on with the help of ADB in Uttarakhand?
I'm not
The
sure.
major
about-
project?
I'm unable to recall
Not
it.
able. No issue. Where is the headquarter of ADB?
It's in Beijing. No, Shanghai.
It's in Manila, Philippines.
Sorry, ma'am. I'm guessing. I'm sorry.
What do you understand by women development and women-led development?
Ma'am, when we talk about women development, we might ignore the role of women in women development. We might see it as something that we ought to do. But when we talk about women-led development, the first step that we basically ensure is to make women the decisions, let them come out in forefront and take the policy decisions for themselves, or maybe at the individual level itself.
Any concrete example you would like to cite?
I mean, my state also, I would like to cite the Chipko movement. It was something which awakened the environmentalism in the whole country. So
it is women development or women-led development?
It is women-led development, because the women of the villages, Reni village, they were in the forefront of the movement.
Okay, fine. Thank you, sir.
Recently, Kacha Tivu Island was in news.
Yes.
What is the issue of the Kacha Tivu Island?
Sir, it is an island between India and Sri Lanka, and it was basically regarding the ownership of the island. And it was claimed that the island was given to the Sri Lankan government.
It is a claim, or it is given to Sri Lanka? It was given to Sri Lanka.
Sir, it was given to Sri Lanka actually.
Okay.
But
it is not the claim.
No, sir. It was basically for the main issue comes from the resources of the water body surrounding it.
Okay. And some people are saying that it is against the constitution as well. It is an unconstitutional agreement. Why they are saying so?
Sir, basically they are seeing it from the perspective of the territory itself, and they are backlashing the certain government regime that was there. So they are basically seeing it, how can we cede our territory to other nation?
Yeah, what is the procedure of ceding the territory to other country?
Sir, we can do it through Article 2 and 3, I believe. Sorry.
What procedure given in Article 3 to cede any territory, a part of India, to any other country?
I believe we have to pass it through the parliament.
Parliament. By which procedure?
Sir, by special majority. Special majority.
What kind of majority is needed?
Special majority.
Is special majority.
I'm guessing it's a special.
You are guessing it. Okay. Do you aware of the term geopolitics?
Yes, sir.
What is geopolitics?
So geopolitics basically mean when the geographical conditions of a country or of a place influences the politics around it.
And if I say, okay, please make us understand the geopolitics of the South China Sea. Can you explain it?
Yes, I can try.
Oh.
So South China Sea is basically is called as the Malacca of China. It has some oil resources which basically China feels that it has the ownership of these. It want to have the ownership of those things, and by basically proving that these resources belong to the particular nation, the China basically wants to tell other nations to be wary of its intention and not to influence, not to interfere in its territory.
And what are the interests of the superpowers like America and European countries?
So it is basically to hold China from its expansionist policy. They are basically wary of that China might increase in influence in the South China Sea and later on to the Indo-Pacific area.
Okay. What is green hydrogen and blue hydrogen?
So blue hydrogen and green hydrogen are basically they are defined and they are categorized on the basis of how we extract the energy. So green hydrogen, I believe it basically regarding the carbon capture and utilization, and blue hydrogen is when the carbon is when we use the marine resources for extracting the energy.
Okay. So
What is the difference between eco-tourism and commercial tourism?
So when we say commercial tourism basically looks at the revenue, the popularity, and the other facets, the materialized facet that might come into play. When we say ecotourism, we are basically focusing on the tourism from the ecological perspective, like introducing tourism, but also keeping the sanctity of the ecology of the place.
Okay, now tell me, given the definition you have just now given to us, should you promote ecotourism in Uttarakhand, or commercial tourism is a better idea?
So definitely ecological tourism.
Ecological tourism, and why?
So because Uttarakhand is a very fragile state in terms of its ecology and ecosystem, and the 1% area that it covers, it basically supports more than 40% of the population. So it is a
That's okay.
resourceful state.
Okay, your hobbies include listening to regional music,
Yes,
isn't
sir.
it? Now explain to us in Hindi, what do you mean by listening to regional music? Which music you really enjoy and why? I want the answer in Hindi.
सर मुझे जो हमारे यहाँ के जो पहाड़ी लोक संगीत होते हैं, मुझे उनको सुनने का बहुत शौक़ है, और इसके पीछे की जो वजह है वो सिर्फ इतनी है कि मुझे उस तरीके से अपने जो हमारी रूट्स हैं, जो हमारी जड़ें हैं, उनसे कनेक्ट होने का, वहाँ की जो सिचुएशंस हैं उनको जानने का, एंड टू बेसिकली जो वहाँ की भी सिचुएशन उनको एंजॉय करने का मौका मिलता है.
क्या क्या वेरिएशंस है वहाँ पहाड़ी म्यूज़िक के उत्तराखंड में?
सर इसमें जैसे हम लोग एक जागर शैली है जो हम बेसिकली पूजा या प्रतिष्ठानों के टाइम पे यूज़ करते हैं. देन वी हैव पांडव सॉन्ग्स, पांडव नृत्य ऑल्सो एंड पांडव सॉन्ग्स. वी हैव बाजूबंद, वी हैव चौपती, एंड वी हैव अदर शेपर्ड सॉन्ग्स जो चरवाहों के गाने होते हैं. और इसमें जिस तरह की जैसे मौसम के ऊपर भी हमारे यहाँ गाने होते हैं, जैसे बासंती गीत है, अभी जैसे रोपाई होगी, धान की रोपाई होगी तो उस वक्त पे भी गीत गाए जाते हैं. तो अलग अलग तरह के गीत हैं.
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद दीप्सिता, योर इंटरव्यू इज ओवर, यू मे गो नाउ.
थैंक यू. प्रणाम.
Come sit down. When is your interview? You have not mentioned the date.
Sir, I haven't been notified yet. It's in 4th phase.
Oh, it's in the 4th phase.
Yes,
4th phase will happen after?
20th June.
A lot of time is there
Yes.
for you. This must be your first attempt at this examination.
Yes, sir.
And any other examination you have written or not?
Sir, I have given UPSC prelims last year. I flunked in CSAT.
You could not. Okay. For only one attempt you have given at the UPSC.
Yes, sir. One attempt here and one attempt in UPSC.
Okay. I hope you are preparing for the UPSC.
Yes, sir, I am.
How was your experience today with us?
So I believe I was lacking in some sort in defining some things, and I have to brush up the current affairs.
No, you have a lot of time to brush up the current affairs and
Yes,
all
sir.
that. You see, you are going to write to face interview for the Uttarakhand service. So Uttarakhand, you have to read thoroughly. All aspects of Uttarakhand. Tourism is the mainstay of Uttarakhand, main economy of Uttarakhand. What are the issues with the tourism and all that? Detail district wise, if you are able to get the details, that will be better for you. Then migration is another issue. So reasons for the migration, why migration is taking place, what are the issues, how are you going to arrest the migration? If you are given the mandate to suggest to the state government to take certain steps to stop migration, what will be your ideas? So prepare a few points which are very relevant. So then this concept of reverse migration also, that is also happening in our country. Why and where the reverse migration is taking place, what are the reasons for that and all that. MSME in the context of Uttarakhand is another important area. Suppose you are posted as a head of district in one of the districts of Uttarakhand, how will you encourage the growth of MSME and all that? These are general in the context of your Viksit Bharat and all that. What all steps have been taken by the state government in the recent past. Have a look at that. There are so many schemes launched and all that. Just have a look at that, so that if you look questions specific to Uttarakhand is asked, like solar mission is there. So there's a solar pan-India solar mission, but specific schemes have been launched in Uttarakhand. Those specific schemes you should be aware. Then your UCC, we have asked you questions on the UCC, and related to that, CA, NRC, some issues, your opinion may be sought on certain issues. So while giving opinion, make sure that your opinion is always a balanced opinion, because you are going to be a part of the government. So you can't be taking an extreme that this is all good here, all hunky-dory in this, and or all bunkum. So you have to strike a balance and take these are the plus points, these are the minus points. And the reality lies somewhere in between, isn't it? That is number 2. Forest fires in Uttarakhand is another area. So you prepare that, whether it is a natural disaster or whether it's a man-made, and if or it's a combination of both. So that is important. Then sustainable development issue, again in the context of Uttarakhand, is very important. How are you going to strike a balance between the growth and the what do you call that environment? That is Josimath is another important. Char Dham Pariyojana is another issue. Silkyara Tunnel is another issue. So all those 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 areas which are getting talked about today, you must prepare. Secondly, this is a test of your personality, not the test of your knowledge per se. So personality, various traits of personality are there. And the first and foremost, if you ask me, the board will like to see whether you are an honest person or not. So honesty of purpose has to be there in all your answers. That is very important. Never ever compromise with that. Meaning thereby, don't speak anything or give answers based on conjectures or surmises. No guesswork. Absolutely. Like your Manila, Shanghai, we got confused in that.
Yes, sir.
So it should be either it happens you are not supposed to be knowing everything and doesn't come immediately to your mind. Then just think for a second, try to collect your ideas. If you are able to recollect, it's all right. Otherwise, admit right now it's not coming to your mind. You are not clear about it. Okay. Instead of hazarding a guess, giving something which is not a correct answer, that you have to maintain. So maintain your honesty. Don't give any answers based on conjectures. Give balanced views. Be energetic. Look like an enthusiast, isn't it? Your communication skill is absolutely wonderful. So absolutely no problem with your communication skills, which is why I wanted you to speak in Hindi also, so that when you go there, mostly all work will be in Hindi only. All interactions will also be Hindi, whether you are comfortable or not, and you are very much comfortable, not an issue. So some of the questions may be asked in Hindi also. International affairs we have asked because we have a special interest in international affairs. The past was only in 23 with political science and international affairs. So there are two parts, political science and then political science. So many things are happening with regard to the constitution, then you should be aware of all that. The current happenings, be it appointment of your judges appointing judges, good idea or a bad idea, collegium system I am referring to, or election commission, or judicial appointments after retirement and all that. Those are issues which may be discussed. And then your international affairs, you know what is happening around the world. You must have a view on that. That's the questions like, what is the role of technology in international affairs? That's one very hackneyed question which is asked. So you should be aware that how technology is playing a crucial role in not only in diplomatic relationship but also in having great your defense ties with countries. Because you have so much of time to prepare all this, which is why I am giving all detailed feedback. So study that and have conviction in yourself, belief in yourself that I am one of the excellent candidates and I will do it. And I am telling you our combined, we have discussed among ourselves, our view is that you are one of the most deserving candidates for the post. And if you have really done well in your mains examination, you will be getting very good marks in the interview, no doubt about it. Okay, wish you all the best for our side. If you have any specific question to ask.
So, in terms of the speed with which I speak, I have been pointed out.
That is your natural instinct. I tell every candidate who come here, don't try to kill your natural instinct. What happens in the process? You will forget your thought process, because you have a way of thinking, and based on that only you speak. As long as you are speaking logical, as well as speaking sense, it is coming to us, doesn't matter. Speed, until speed is so fast that we are not able to comprehend, that's a different issue. But whatever you are speaking, we are grasping all that. That is not an issue. So don't work mechanically on something which is not desirable. So just go by your natural instinct. Be your natural self. Every individual is different from the other. So one size fit all cannot be true in the selections. Maintain your personal identity, identity, and you will be doing very well. Okay, anything else in your mind?
Quality of answers, because I guess that's...
The quality of answers are good. Quality of answers are good. I mean, you are applying your, in fact, better than the expected level. Because this quality of answers normally you expect for the civil services conducted through the UPSC. So we have been giving that kind of...
So it's the gift of the preparation, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. It has helped you. So don't worry about that. Just try to get as much information as possible with regard to the state and the governance of a state. These are the problems of the state. What are the problems in the governance? Because what are the problems faced by bureaucrats while dealing with government working? How much political pressure is exerted on civil servants? How to deal with such political pressures? It's very difficult to deal with such political pressures. So how will you ensure that the job which has been entrusted to you are done as per the laid down rules and procedures of the government? That's it. Okay.
Ma'am, anything specific?
Nothing. What you are going to wear?
Ma'am, sari.
Sari.
Yes, ma'am. This is not the outfit. Actually, I don't know to wear. So.
Yes. And any specific kind of sari?
Ma'am, I have chosen this Chanderi cotton silk sari.
So know about it also, because it reflects the culture of any particular place, right? Chanderi is from where it is taken. It's from MP.
Yes, ma'am.
So just know about the fabric, the culture, the people behind weaving it. So that's all right.
Sir, anything?
So all the best to you. Feedback. All the best to you.
Thank you.
For more informative content, like, share and subscribe, and do not forget to press the bell icon to get the notifications.